Aloha! What's up, guys? This is what it's like living in Oahu. It's also kind of like this too. It's Jason and Alexandra here. We want to share our favorite adventures of living in Oahu, the favorite things that we saw, did, tasted, experienced, lessons we learned, how to stay healthy if you are, fit and health conscious, and some things that will be really helpful for you as we got to be locals for about 4 months while living in Oahu. First of all, I'll catch you up. How did we get to live in Oahu?
Well, I do this thing called travel nursing, and so I took a contract out there with a hospital for 8 weeks to start, and then we ended up staying because we loved it for another 6 weeks. So yeah, that pretty much is what took us there and kept us there for almost 4 months.
In the last 3 years, we've lived in Scottsdale, Southern California, San Diego, Nashville, and North Carolina. But Hawaii was always on our list as a place that we wanted to try out and live. I work remotely. The opportunity opened up in Oahu, and then we had to decide where it was that we wanted to live. There's the breakdown of the island is built around real populated area of Honolulu and Waikiki. And then you have the North Shore, which is going to be popular for surfing, especially in the wintertime with Bonsai Pipeline. You have the east side that's a little bit slower, kind of nicer exclusive area with Kailua and Lanikai. And then there's the west side that seems a lot more locals, has a lot of its own beauty there, and then all kinds of little nuggets in between. And we ended up right in Waikiki. So it's a very busy-ish area. Less busy than typical during this period of time from everything that we've heard. But, within a 15-minute drive, we can feel like we're in a true Hawaiian experience and away from everything. And it only takes about 45 to 50 minutes to really get to anywhere on the island. We'll teach you the lessons that we learned and the experiences that we did over and over again. But let's start with outdoor adventures and hikes. We'll talk about, our favorites and some of them that maybe are underrated that you might not know about. But why don't you start out? What are a couple of your favorites?
My favorite hike on the island was definitely Wili Wili Nui Ridge hike. You have to get a pass. There's only so many per day, so we went really early to make sure we got one from security guard, and went up, and it ended up looking like Jurassic Park. It was bright green valleys and stairs and overlooked the ocean side, and then once you get up to the other side, you can overlook the whole other side of the island.
If you were in Waikiki, it's probably only about 10-15 minutes. I gotta say, my favorite hike that we did, the most memorable one, is one that I had been anticipating for more than a decade. So for more than 10 years, I'd been wanting to do the Stairway to Heaven. I'd heard all about it, watched a bunch of cool videos, and we didn't do it till the very end. We wanted to time it with good weather and do a lot of homework and research, but it was, I think, everything that we expected and more. As far as the adrenaline rush, getting there, starting. Fortunately, we picked a good day that wasn't too wet and too windy, because at points it's a little sketchy when you feel like you're climbing up on a ladder straight up. And we saw people that started it and turned around because they didn't really know what to expect. But I thought that hike was so cool. It gives you a really cool perspective and beautiful view of the rest of the whole island. And then other cool hikes, we checked a lot off the list right off the bat. We did a lot of the pillboxes that are all around. So on the southeast side around Lanikai, Kailua area is gorgeous and easy. We did one on the North Shore, a cool pillbox. So you're looking down to the North Shore where all the popular surf is by Pipeline. We did the Makapu Lighthouse. And then on the way back down, we saw tide pools we got to go play in, which was really cool. And I guess, what would you call a little water area?
There's blowholes down there too. So you go down and you can walk on the rocks and just water shoots up from between these caverns, and
it was epic.
And then you can like lay and float.
Don't turn your back on the water.
You can float in like the shallow tide pools too, which is super fun. It's crystal clear.
Yeah. And then talking to locals, we scored on some cool ideas for hikes as far as like some of the ruins and different waterfalls.
Bamboo forests.
And different bamboo forests. But people say there's, what is it, like 2,000 plus hikes there. And so we scratched a very little amount. We were there for 4 months, and the first month felt like just living in Disneyland and like a fast pass, just trying to go do as much as we could and checking it off. And we got lucky with a lot of good weather. There's some times we got muddy for sure, but so much adventure out there. And then next up, as far as adventures, what was your favorite thing that we did out there?
Free diving, for sure. We had a couple of hot spots that we go to where you're guaranteed to see turtles and swim with turtles like every single time. That was Sansuchi Beach, which is close to Waikiki. And then Electric Beach is where we pretty much studied and learned the routes of the dolphins. And we got to swim with wild dolphins. Twice.
Swimming with wild dolphins. So not just seeing them,
like
communicating them, being
the
one with the pack of the dolphins. That
magical.
Was a memorable experience. We got to do it multiple times. We'll forever treasure that. And a reminder for all the hiking, wherever you go, like the popular tourist areas, unfortunately, bad things can happen. We were, a couple unfortunate experiences at the very end with having some of our stuff stolen. I wouldn't let that overshadow how great our trip was, but it's a reminder to keep an eye on your stuff. You'll see a lot of broken glass in the parking lots, and then being aware of the water and being conscious. We've been pretty safe, but that same day some stuff got taken. Alexandra got stung by I think it was a box jellyfish. It messed her up pretty good. So she had marks that lasted 3 weeks plus. Extremely painful.
Got to be worse than childbirth.
So come prepared. Wearing, I think you don't have to wear a wetsuit or a rash guard, but maybe that would give you a little bit more peace of mind. After the full moon, I think they say the week after a full moon is when a lot of the jellyfish come in from, maybe that gravitational pull. So things like that to be conscious for, but it's still worth it, all the beauty. We went to Electric Beach well over a dozen times, and we thought it was probably more enjoyable than Hanama Bay as far as what we got to see. So clear. And when we say free diving, we're saying, it's like snorkeling when you're going out and trying to hold your breath for, to go down a little bit deeper. Maybe it's 15, 20, 30 feet. And maybe going with a guided crew or a tourist company, or somebody that's more experienced can help you feel a lot better and build confidence with that. But that becomes way more enjoyable the more you do it. And speaking of tour companies, we got to go out a couple different times with Trident Adventures, which is owned by some Navy SEALs. And, Steven is one of them, who, treated us like family, took us out. So we got to go out multiple times to do some diving, ride with some underwater DPVs. They went down and got octopus for us to play with, which was super cool and brought a whole new fascination with the underwater world. Then we also went out and did some tactical training, which is a neat experience.
And we got to pull the boat right up to whales, like right beside whales that were not
young baby whales. Yeah, breaching. I guess they were breaching. Yeah, training on how to how to hunt for food and all that fun stuff. So continuing the endless summer activities, we can't leave out surfing. So whether you've never surfed before or you are an experienced surfer, there's something for everyone on the island of Oahu. So South Shore, you could say that's the birthplace of longboard surfing in Waikiki, which you'll see it everywhere, and there's probably no easier place to learn it. Definitely recommend getting a lesson first, because that will save so much time and frustration with understanding the timing of waves. There's a lot of places to rent boards. You can save money by just going right across the street. I go to, I think it's Beach Boy All-Stars or Moku Surf Shop, and for $5 or $10 you can get a board for 1 to 2 hours rather than spending $20 on the beach. But we had a lot of fun there. Understand that in the winter time, the South Shore, very small, inconsistent waves, still rideable, but very small. And then in the wintertime, the North Shore is going off, and that's when they have, you know, pipeline, Billabong tournaments, and all the big surf. You can get to watch some of the best surfers in the world there on a daily basis. We got to see giant swells, like 20-foot waves. It was pretty epic. And then on the summertime, it's the opposite. North Shore is really small, almost no waves, and the South side is pumping, very consistent. All right, when it comes to adventures, we got to talk about the adventures of food. You know, we did some of our research here and had a list of places that we had to check off based off of recommendations like, you know, Leonard's and Matsumoto's. So that's on the North Shore. A couple of our favorite places to eat up there, you know, outside Sunrise Shack, which started there, was a really cool coffee shop that's got awesome, you know, acai bowls, shakes, avocado toast. What was your favorite stuff on the North Shore?
Farm to Barn, which is in Haleiwa. They have the best burger. It's like stuffed with mozzarella, and it's on a taro bun, which is a purple sweet potato, which is a local favorite in Hawaii. So you have to try that. It's the best burger I've ever had.
And so many cool, you know, cultural dishes that we fell in love with. And you got all the super popular food trucks that are worth checking out, which we frequented quite a bit. What was your favorite?
Yeah, they had a Thai food truck, and I am obsessed with mango sticky rice, and they had the best mango sticky rice I've ever had.
And then in addition to stops, anytime we were on the North Shore, we always went to the, you know, fresh fruit. So it's just fresh tropical fruit. We got papaya and mango and fresh pineapple and
coconuts. You can get a whole coconut cold that they cut open for you to drink.
So super cheap. You get
Dragon
it fresh,
fruit.
the freshest fruit you're ever going to taste, just right on the side of the road. You can pick it up and go watch some surf on the North Shore, you know, all around Bonsai Pipeline. So there's always good entertainment in the wintertime of people serving, super consistent. And then you got to talk about all the local spots that, you know, it's nice to get off the beaten path and find, you know, some of the local places that are good to frequent. You know, one of our favorites was Diamond Head Market Cafe, and they just had good local grinds. That's how the Hawaiian people say about, you know, food. But, you know, you can just get, you know, their typical traditional loco mocos. You got all their different types of barbecued chicken. So living in a hotel, it's challenging as we've gotten rid of so much stuff and traveled with very little, but it's allowed us to appreciate the things that we have. The limited space of a small fridge and not having a kitchen has certainly been a challenge. So if you're a health conscious person, as I'm a nutritionist and wrote a cookbook all about living healthy, it's been a fun challenge. So the first couple weeks have been, or were, just like a honeymoon stage of trying everything, all the recommendations, and then we've kind of chosen some of our favorites and staples where to get food and stock up. When it comes to stocking up, you know, let's talk about grocery shopping. We found some of our favorite spots that are nearby, and when it comes to cost, you know, we'll break down the average cost per day, but you know, your average meal eating out anywhere on the low end is going to be probably $10 to $12. So if you're eating 3 times per day, it can easily get to $30 plus per day. Obviously, you have some different fast food options, but if you can shop, you can stock up and make some things on your own, even if it's really simple things like eggs or hard-boiled eggs or snacks, which has been huge for us. Grocery store lines are abnormally large all the time. So there are random times where they're small, but we haven't figured that out yet, but they will be, you know, take 20 to 30 minutes in some cases. But you got a lot of different grocery stores. There are a lot of random necessities that tend to be a lot more expensive. You know, a saying we've heard a lot is that the most beautiful things here to experience in Hawaii are free, but the necessities tend to be a little bit more expensive. And what we'll do to make it work better is, you know, order a little bit extra, and then we'll store stuff in our fridge so that we can have extra meals and make more out of it. And then we bought a griddle from Walmart so that we can make eggs and pancakes and cook beef and meat and things like that. And that has saved us a ton of money compared to just eating out all of the time. So it's kind of a mix and a trade-off of both of those. But a typical day with me typically starts out with some eggs. Sometimes I'll make pancakes here in my room, and coffee of some sort. And then for lunch, I'll do some sort of bowl, whether I'll stock up and have some of my own like salmon or mackerel that I can make in my room to save a little bit, or I'll go get a poke bowl and then maybe add something to it if I need a little bit larger serving. There's some local alternatives to like Chipotle, like you have OMG that's around here, or some other local favorites like Diamond Head Market Grill or Despot are good healthy spots that I can pick up meals. Because during that honeymoon stage, we're just eating everything, enjoying ourselves, and it can be tough on you. Staying fit and healthy tends to be pretty easy with the weather always being pretty good, so you can get out on hikes. A nice plus of living at a hotel or an apartment complex, we have a nice gym that we can use, plus a rooftop gym so we can get outside and get some sunshine as well. As far as transportation, getting around, for what it's worth, gas prices are a little bit on the higher end, probably not as high as California. You might not need a vehicle. There's a lot of ways to get around. If you're just traveling around local and you don't need to go see too much, maybe get a rental car to see the island or rent a scooter occasionally. Traffic and commuting, if you are doing so, it's just good to know that the H1 is like the biggest highway system that goes from east to west. If you're going up north to North Shore, if it's a nice day and there's big waves, you can just be in standstill traffic once you get up there. But even that being said, it's rare that anywhere is going to take you more than 45 minutes to an hour to get to. In some cases, it will, but just knowing when there's big busy traffic. The slowest it seems is just going on all the back roads, getting to the freeways, because people tend to be on Hawaiian time, driving a little bit slower, and there's so many red lights to keep the flow of everything just a lot slower. But there's bikes that you can rent for really cheap, so you can do like monthly plans that are $15 or so. But I'll a lot of times ride the bike to go up to the grocery store if Alexander takes the the Jeep that we rented to work or whatnot. So walking around, you can get to grocery stores. There's stuff within a couple miles everywhere. Stuff that's marked down is a good way to save money, to be able to stock up on different snacks so you're not spending as much eating out. ABC markets are like 7-Elevens that are on every corner, and you can get everything from eggs to papaya to sunscreen and all that good stuff. So I guess the point of this is you can take less than you probably think that you need. Waikiki is close to everything. It's not going to be super quiet if that's what you're looking for. If you want more of the secluded type of experience, you're going to want to try something like the North Shore or maybe the east side that's a little bit more quiet. But as we've gotten rid of more stuff and traveled with less, we realize that it helps us appreciate what we have and the companionship that much more. And you realize you can get by on a whole lot less. Again, this is an experience that we've liked to move around and try out new places and meet people, and it's really opened up our perspective. And it's so fun just to meet people, ask where their story is, how they ended up here, whether it's a conversation you have out on a surfboard or just out and about. It's so special to be around the whole aloha lifestyle, and then you're around people that are constantly on vacation. It seems like more likely that you're gonna just have good, pleasant conversations and leave being a better person. We had a wonderful, incredible time and treasure it so much.
Yeah, to wrap it up, it was definitely the trip of a lifetime, my favorite work assignment ever, and I feel like we made the most of it, and we'll definitely be back to visit.
Awesome. Let us know if you have any sort of questions. Hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.